QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022 OneNote presentation. Bill for hourly services of staff, setup items, and enter billable time. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022. If you have access to OneNote, would like to follow along, icon left-hand side, topic introduction, 8320, bill for hourly services of staff, setup items, and enter billable time tab. Also take a look at the immersive reader tool, topic introductions in the text area too, same name, same number, but with transcripts. Transcripts that can be translated into multiple languages and either listened to or read in them. Same name and number as presentations as well. Topic introductions designed to give an introduction to the topic. Provide screenshots, links where applicable, give accounting background to complement the presentations, and can be used to follow along with them if you don't have access to the software at that time. Closing the icon on the left-hand side, we're starting off with a screenshot of the home page. We're focused down here on the entering of the time, which can be used to track time to then pay the employees if they're going to be paid in an hourly way. But we're going to use them here, as is often the case that you might see in a service industry, a partnership type of setup, for example, where you have staff like a CPA firm, a law firm, where you're going to be charging out the hours from the staff to clients and then using that to invoice the clients, creating an invoice. So we're going to enter the information, imagining then our employees enter the information so that they can charge particular clients for them or jobs that we can then tie out to the invoice and create the invoice from that information. We're going to be creating some new items in order to do that. We've got our 2 employees. We had one in the prior month that we were billing out for. So if you're like a CPA firm, you can imagine these are your staff members that you're going to have them have a billable rate that you will be charging for. And then they need to tell you who they are working on, what jobs they're working on, so that you can charge your billable rate to them. You can also set up a method where you basically have different items that they could be working on, and you charge your clients based on whatever the item rate is, not on the rate of the actual the person that's doing the work, but rather on the rate of the work that they are doing. So those are 2 methods that you can consider. We're imagining here we're a guitar shop, and these are 2 people doing basically guitar lessons working in a similar fashion. So we're going to set up a service item for Adam Guitar Lessons. We're going to be charging $75 an hour for Adam's lessons, and that's going to be going to service revenue that we're going to be recording. And then Erica Guitar Lessons, $115, which again is going to go to the service revenue for our 2 items. After the items have then been set up, we can enter the information into the timesheet. So if we go into the timesheet, we can imagine basically our employees doing this, recorded the time either into Excel or something like that we then use to populate into the timesheet, or it would be nice if they put it right into the timesheet. As they do so, they charge a particular customer and or job, and then they put their service item, which here is just their billable rate that we're going to be charging for them, as opposed to a specific thing that they did, which would be then charged based on the thing that they did. And then they can put their notes over here if there were notes that were being involved. Then we've got their time on the per date items. We made them billable, and that's going to be important because now we're going to use this time entry information and the items and the customers to then be able to populate and bill with the use of the invoices. Here's Erica. Up top we had Adam. This is going to be Erica, entering Erica's time for customer 3 and customer 4. And we used Erica's service items. We made them billable so we can populate the invoices. When we go to the invoices, we make an invoice then. If it goes for customer 1, I'm paraphrasing now, QuickBooks is like, hey, we got some billable time. Do you want us to add it to that invoice for that particular customer? We're going to say yes, and then we'll populate these invoices based on the timesheets. So that's how that billable time can kind of work. If we think about this from an accounting standpoint, just in terms of what are the accounts that are going to be affected, the accounting will be fairly straightforward. If we were to add our timesheets, for example, in this fashion for Adam and Erica, which you could do, in other words, not track it within the QuickBooks system, the timesheets, but rather just do it with Excel or some other kind of software, and then take that information and apply it to the customers when you basically do the billing process. That's another way that you can basically think about going through this process. So we'll go through the actual taking of this information and then tacking it on to the invoice and recording the billing items. And you can imagine how the cycle would go here if you had a law firm or something like staff employees that are going to be working for you. You might bill people basically every week, or you might do it every 2 weeks, or you might do it every month, and you're going to have to do it based on, in some way, the timesheet that has been entered either into the QuickBooks system or into some kind of timesheet software, so that you can use that information to charge the clients and make the billing on whatever weekly, monthly, or bi-weekly methods you have set up.